night. Um, yeah, but right before Sam decided to fart, and man, she's clearing this trailer. Oh boy. So, we decided I want to show you guys something because I tell you guys I order like freeze dried foods off of Amazon and stuff like that. Today we got this from Mountain House. This is homestyle chicken noodle casserole. Haven't tried it yet. We're probably gonna try it tomorrow, we're probably gonna try it tomorrow, unless we decide to do something different tomorrow and just try it on Monday. But we will definitely be eating this quite frequently, and we'll be telling you how good or bad it is, whether or not we like it and stuff like that. So I figured I'd let you guys know. Um, oh, there's your can of fish. Okay. But tonight we're gonna fry up. Hey, what's up, Chris? We're gonna have, what's up, Sam, Platypus? Okay, we're gonna fry up some chicken nuggets. And she also wanted some chicken taquitos, which we did not get any, we didn't get any sour cream for.
Yeah, so I asked, do we need sour cream? And he said, no. I said, okay.
Uh, Well, because I was thinking for the stroganoff, because I thought that I got stroganoff. What's up, Occult? Nice to see you. So, I'm going to get this burner started. All right. So, we've got, okay, so it's going to take it a minute to kind of fry up. And, oh my God, this thing, well, we're going to end up having to use all this oil.
Yeah, so I figured it's over with, so.
Yeah, well, we needed to get rid of it. Anyways, we bought it just to fry stuff up sometimes when we need to fry it. So, like, with having to fry up the taquitos and the chicken nuggets. And by the way, my Cokes came in a 10-pack of 7.5 ounces. Are you kidding me? They're charging you more for less. So, but anyways, yeah, we're just gonna have an open mic. We're just gonna have an open conversation. I was watching something on Redacted, talking about what the Biden administration is doing to make it hard for Trump to do his transition. And one of the things that they were talking about is that they're getting their appointees, instead of resigning like they normally are, they're burrowing themselves in so that they can kind of sit in there and work as an agent against the Trump administration, at least for the time it takes to get confirmation done. And so, how long until Trump is actually able to get complete transition and control over his government to do what he wants? I mean, you've got, it could take close to a year, or at least maybe even 2 years for him to root all that out. This becomes a political civil war. I mean, if we're not already in one since J6, my opinion, you guys have heard me talk about this. I really think that we are in a political civil war, and um, this is just the first of two. Because what we're finding out is that even though we made a choice in transition to a new leader, to a new government, to a new party, and it was an overwhelming and unified voice of the American people, that they said this is who we want, and then you have somebody trying to thwart that, by trying to be a stick in the mud and be destructive to the incumbents, or the new leadership, all their stuff. I mean, it doesn't make any real sense. Why they would, well, I mean, I know why they would do it, but all this is doing is they're inciting, they're trying to incite some sort of physical or armed altercation. Because the thing is there's going to come a point where people are saying, we're voting for this stuff, it's not getting done, the people we want to come in and transition, they're having to sit there and fight and spend all their time rooting out the next guy, or the last guy. And at some point in time, we've lost complete control over our government, to where we're going to come to this conclusion, this decision, that you know, there's no way to fix it. We just need to burn it down and start over because this isn't working. We got so far away from what we originally wanted to do that we're no longer in that, and so therefore we need to start over and find something that's actually going to work and benefit the people. And I think that this is also part of a social revolution that's going on because as this whole thing plays out, the next generation of voters or those who get to choose their leaders, they're going to choose them in a more intelligent way that's going to have their interests in mind versus having global interests in mind. Instead of working for the interests of the people of Kentucky, they're working for the interests of people in France and Germany and China and Korea and Singapore and Taiwan, you know, and not you. Okay, and so I think that this is part of a long transition, a long swing, and I think it'll take about 30 or 40 years to fully implement itself. But you know, that's just something to be thoughtful of. Okay, I think this is hot enough. It's already starting to boil. But hey, what kind of topics do you guys want to talk about? What's on your guys' mind? I'd love to hear from you guys because I get to do most of the talking. Um, so, one thing that I'm thinking about doing, and I just want to see if you guys are up for it. I think on Saturday mornings, because once I get to the point where it's like, okay, it's my day off. It's not necessarily really my day off. It's just I don't have any obligations to do. I can sit there and do other things that I need to get done. And so, like, I'm working on videos and other things, you know, on my day off. So if I do a breakfast with Tuck on Saturdays, that gives me that gives me a couple of days versus just like a day to really get down and dirty and do what it is that I need to do. I'm just curious, would you guys be interested in in a breakfast with Tuck Saturday mornings? Type 1 if you're okay with it, 2 if you would like to keep it in the afternoon. So let's see here. When will it be warm again outside? In about 7 days, about a week. So okay, so one. Okay. Anybody else weighing in? Okay. Super Loop. Okay, we got one. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we'll make sure and make a nice breakfast every Saturday, something like eggs and pancakes or something along those lines. 'Cause yeah, usually in the morning we just get up and go. Mm. Um, hey dear, you said you had tongs, right?
Oh, they're outside.
Well,
How about those little ones? I thought the little ones are up above the stove.
up above.
Remember in that glass jar?
No.
Yeah, just the little glass jars to the left.
I'm good. I'll
Can you
figure
use
something
fork?
else out.
Okay.
Um, okay. Let's see here. Let me see what I got in here. Um, you know what? I can just use a fork and do it that way because they're partially thawed out anyways. So we'll just do it that way. I'm gonna put them on a plate with some napkins so that we can like get some of the grease off of it.
Yeah.
Unless you want a heart attack. Do you want a heart attack?
No, not today, thanks.
Uh,
Maybe another day.
Another day? Okay. Well, just let me know when you're ready. We'll make sure it happens.
Oh, okay.
All right. So there we go. All right, man. I need a haircut, but I can't get a haircut until it warms up. We were listening to something the other day where they were talking about like it's 75 for the high in August, and I'm like, holy cow! I just came to the frozen tundra. I'm like in Little Alaska, you know, or Southern Alaska. I swear, because the White Mountains apparently is where we're at. So if you guys know this area, this is kind of the region in which we're at. So, but anyways, I'm gonna turn this other burner on and kind of split it between them so that we can get an even. Yeah. That way we get even.
Hard to cook with it.
Yeah. But okay, so what's up, Tricky Dick? Nice to see you. Things are going to be stupid as ever in the world this year, in my stupid opinion. What do you think? Um, I think that a lot of the things that people have been warning about um, for a while, such as the economy crashing, global economic collapse, at least for the Western world, decoupling of the dollar and the financial ramifications of that. I think a lot of that's going to start to come home to roost over the next year. That for sure. Um, we just there's so much infighting and so much bipartisanship that it's kind of really hard for anything to really get done. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, with this whole red wave and how it's going to affect not only public policy, but affect how your day-to-day life goes. Because I mean, that's the amount of control that we give these politicians. Although we've got to be aware of what's going on. They've turned it into a religion almost, and it's kind of hard to be able to function, and have actual discourse and an exchange of ideas to move us in a positive direction. If all of a sudden we've dogmatized it to a point where it's pretty much just religion. There is no real there is no real discourse anymore. So yeah, it's going to get crazy, but I think it's going to get really crazy economically this year, because we also have the dock workers. They got to be done in May, and they could go back on strike again, and that could really destroy our economy, because everything's going to be routed through Canada. And if Trump is trying to do some sort of trade war with Canada, well, then that's going to really put us in a bind, because now we're going to be relying on them for all of these imports, because our our ports have closed due to strikes, and so then that becomes a whole nother issue. And then how does that directly affect the economy? Because that affects truckers, affects the housing market, that affects the supply chain, and it affects stores. So this could literally just take everything down with it, because of how dependent we are on these ports and the amount of power that we have allowed them to have, because of the different things that have been done over the years. I mean, this just didn't happen overnight. This was a buildup of a bunch of stuff, and a lot of this stuff was allowed to happen because when you've got one political party in office, unions do good. When you've got another political party in office, unions are generally attacked in one form or fashion. So this is just something to really be thoughtful about. So let's see if anybody else has asked any other questions. Um, okay, Trump said it will suck at first, then get better later. I hope so. Maybe. Oh my God, rails, the gospel truth and neighbors of any kind suck. Yeah. I think what Trump said, it will suck at first. Yeah, maybe it'll suck at first. But how long? How long is it going to take for it to get better? How long is it going to take to? And hey, Coca-Cola, where's my sponsorship? How long is it going to take to do it at first? And there's also, are you guys watching what's coming out from O'Keefe Media Group or OMG? Those guys, I think they just got somebody in the Pentagon fired because they're talking about all the different things that they're doing. Like this guy's meeting with 1 and 2 star generals to discuss possible ways to affect the Trump administration. And this guy is just nothing more than an intelligence analyst, and he's being given a power because he's been following Hillary Clinton around since the very beginning. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I think that, honestly, like I said, how is this not a political civil war? Like, how is this not to a point where we're, it makes no sense. It seems it's done in the shadows. It's being done. You have groups like Antifa and BLM and other groups that are being militarized by these political parties, whether it be the left or the right, because you got the Boogaloo Boys and you got the other groups that have also been. Samantha, you better go lay on your blanket. You know, you've got all these individuals as well that are, you know, left and right, and they've become more of the militant arm of this political revolution that's going on. You know, at first it starts peaceful because we think that we actually have an opportunity to be heard, but when we realize that we're being ignored, and everybody realizes they're being ignored, not just one, but all parties, then they turn against all of that.
Yeah, it feels like we're being placated, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, you're being gaslighted, okay, and intentionally gaslighted so that they can get your vote, so that they can get you to do all this stuff, because it's just a form of manipulation and control. It's an us versus them. It's a psychological trick. So you guys see, I got nuggets here, gotten them fried up. Yeah, these are gonna be some good chicken nuggets tonight. I like my nuggets crispy. You guys like you guys like yours crispy? Okay, let's move all of these down here. Okay, sorry guys, I gotta focus here on this because I gotta kind of move them a little bit to get them to crisp up. Hey, would you like to try one, dear?
What?
A nugget.
I'll wait till 11 is
Okay. I was kind of hoping.
Well, I know, but you know, I like my food, you know, lukewarm. I don't like it hot.
Yeah, crispy. What's up, Smoking Swamp Outdoors? How do you prep on off the streets? Okay, did you all see the people on that red note? People might be starting to wake up about 30 years too late. Oh, red note, is that the whole thing with the whole TikTok? So, you know, is that what you're referencing? So they're banning TikTok on Sunday, and apparently everybody's going over to something called like Red Note, which is a Chinese social media platform. So they can't go on TikTok, but they can go on these other social media platforms. Okay, so hold on, these are getting done quick. So is that what you're talking about? All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. Yeah, they're starting to get really crispy, and I'm trying to catch them as they get crispy, but not like so crispy they're getting burnt.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some water spoons or something.
Okay, this one needs to come off. This one needs to come off. Okay, guys. This one needs to come off. Come on.
You might need to open the window up a little.
Okay, I will in a second.
Yeah, I know.
This one can come off. I think they're all pretty much done.
Yeah,
We can do the taquitos next. That's gonna be fun. Okay, so guys, we got nuggets done. Uh-oh, what was that?
Drop something or?
No. It might have just been, I don't know, I heard a pop.
You could kick the
No.
that was the order.
Alright. I'm gonna let a couple of these cook just because they were on the edge, and I wanna make sure they're nice, and I wanna make sure they're all nice and cooked, but I can start putting the taquitos in there. Alright. So I've never fried up taquitos before. So this'll be interesting. You know what?
We don't have to do them all. I mean, did you do all of those chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! You should just save the taquitos for tomorrow then.
Okay, you want to save the taquitos for tomorrow?
Yeah, just save the taquitos for tomorrow because I didn't realize you're gonna do all.
Well, yeah, because I mean we can't really keep this stuff overnight. We don't have a freezer.
Right.
So we just kind of got to be. All right.
Okay.
So let me turn this off. And you know the nice thing about cooking inside is that and so we get to heat it up in here too. So it's nice and warm and toasty
Okay.
and smoky. Yes, it is. So you want barbecue sauce, dear?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me get you some barbecue sauce. Sam, knock it off. Yeah, Sam thinks it's time for her to eat. She already ate dinner though. We feed all the dogs and the goats before the live stream. Here you go.
You can just set it. Okay. I gotta refigure here.
Okay, and hold on, let me. All right. So get me some barbecue sauce and let's sit back and have a good conversation with a Coke. I'm gonna put this here so.
Okay, then I'll just.
Yeah, just be thoughtful. Okay. And so we're moving over here. I'll show you guys Sam before the end of the live stream. Because I know you guys are going to want it. Samantha, no, sit. No, sit. Knock it off. All right. So let's see what you guys have to say. Okay. Where did I get the dog? So I was hopping trains at the time. And I was between Baldwin and Jacksonville trying to find a train depot to jump out of to head south to towards Orlando. And Sam followed me for about 4 miles, put a leash on her, and she's been with me ever since. That was a little over a year ago. All right. I'm not saying they are. He asked how I'm prep living on the streets. Yeah, well, I mean, living on the streets is part of prepping in some ways because you're learning the bug out portion of what the whole thing is. So when SHTF really hits with the homeless lifestyle and the homeless way of living and the homeless community and understanding the rules of being homeless, because that's where you're going to be. That's going to be the community you're going to have to transit in as you maneuver around, especially if you're traveling long distances because you're bugging out for one reason or another. So I mean that's living. If you, as a prepper, you should go spend at least a summer on the streets. Just go spend 2 or 3 months, even if you're working. Learn how to work and be on the streets. It'll give you a whole new perspective of life. But it's becoming much more dangerous now, though. So just remember that, because they're trying to dispossess you of everything if you're out here on the streets. Okay. What's up, Anarchy? Money or medals? I went, okay, someone makes an abs one for people wanting to bury stuff for me. Okay. Oh, this is a side conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions for me, or if you want me to make a comment on something, put it in all caps. Otherwise, I'll consider it part of a side conversation. I usually try and read all the comments, but sometimes I get into the weeds on these conversations, and I'm like, whoa, I don't understand what's going on.
Was saying that they're gonna get off the streets for a little while and go into a long stay, extended stay hotel for a while.
That's one way to do it. Either that or find you a roommate. Prepping isn't just stockpiling items, because here's the thing. How long can you hold off people on your land? Okay, you're gonna have marauders. You're gonna have scavengers. You're gonna have zombies. The zombies that come from the city. The fentanyl people, the white dopers. You're gonna have those people, and you can only take out so many, and the psychological trauma is going to come from that, even if you're doing it in self-defense. Unless you're a complete sociopath, that's going to leave a lot of scars, and you're only going to want to drop so many bodies until you're just like, I'd rather just walk away than have to live with those nightmares. I mean, I've got my great uncle. My great uncle came out of Vietnam, third most decorated soldier. He's put up for the Medal of Honor 3 times, got 2 Distinguished Service Crosses, and a Silver Star. After being in the Army for 10 years, he did an about-face on a senator's son's hand, got a dishonorable discharge. I won't tell you the rest of the story, but I will tell you that when I've talked to my uncle about a lot of that stuff, he really, it bugged him, even though he knew he was doing the right thing. It's still, for every life you take, that life stays with you because you took it. It belongs to you now, and the memories and the of the experience will stick with you. So, and this is kind of what my uncle was telling me when him and I would talk about, because he fought on Hamburger Hill twice. Yeah, he was a badass. So, am I enjoying the food? Tuck, are you enjoying the food? It's hard, I can't spell. Yes, it's definitely good. I had the stockpile and all the stuff, lost the house and all the stuff. Now everything I own fits in a medium Alice pack. Exactly. So you spend all that time putting all that together, and then what happens? You still have nothing. So was it wise to put all your money towards all those items? Unless you've got your land paid off, which that's the one thing I'm working on with this. I need to get this thing paid off as quickly as possible. When you get your land paid off, and then nobody can push you off it. Then stockpiling items is a good idea. But if you're making payments on it, then you're playing Russian roulette, and you're at the mercy of time and a sequence of events, because that's all it takes. That's what I think. That's what the average American is going to find out, because they got themselves so far in debt. Did you know? What would credit card defaults and credit card debt is at an all-time high. With inflation hitting the roof, people, instead of trimming their belt, they're robbing Walmarts for food that's just overly expensive and they shouldn't have been buying to begin with, and and they're still not living within their means. And so they're using credit cards to do this, and then they're defaulting on it, and then they're just trying to keep this, the musical chairs going. And how long until you see, 10% homelessness, or what would be a 300% increase in homelessness, because of all those people. Eventually, the music's gonna stop, and if you got nowhere to sit, you're screwed. So many people think that they can just work their way out of it, and you can't. If we, the people, can't eliminate property taxes, we will never own our property, because we will pay rent on it every year. Well, not necessarily true, Anarchy. There is a good argument for property taxes, because if you look at the way the Constitution was written, is that the bill was based upon the size of the state, and so everybody had an equal share based upon their population of the taxes, and so therefore they would pass it down, and so the states would get the bill, and then they would raise it through other taxes, levies, fees, everything else like that, and that includes property taxes. So I don't necessarily think that property taxes means that you don't own it, because it's part of you paying for the services, such as the fire department, the police department, the hospitals, the transportation, the county workers, those people. You know what, JF? So he says, tired of working 40 hours a week to get by. I want to be carefree kid again. Um, you know, I'm here. Let me do this. Okay. Let me kind of give you guys some behind the scenes, something that normally I would either make video content on or I'd talk about it on Patreon. But I want to share something. Okay, so when Farm Girl and I first met, okay, she was telling me she wanted to be a YouTuber. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. She's already had experience, already knew it. Well, the thing is if you're looking to turn that into a career, it requires certain things, and she's really into like perfectionism, okay, and she's very good at what she does. But the thing about being a good artist is that lay down now. The thing about being a good artist is you're never really happy with your final result because you're always trying to do more to make it better. And so in the YouTube world, to get started, you just got to point, click, record. Use your talents, but you just got to point, click, record. You can't let weather or let other things get in the way. Well, there's more to the digital economy than just being a content creator. Everybody thinks that, oh, I should be a content creator, but being a content creator takes a certain type of person. I do education. I'm not a creative. I don't have a creative bone in me. I'm very, I'm very solution oriented and stuff like that, but I'm not creative. So doing something as an educational channel, plus, with my sales background, it gives me a good speaking abilities. With all of that at my back, being a content creator in the digital economy works for me. But she has a background in design, went to Cal Arts, got a certificate. And if you look at the thumbnail that was created for tonight, she created that. She also did 2 other thumbnails for me because she's building a portfolio. Because although she really wants to do a YouTube channel, the thing is just because she wants to make the best video possible, and it takes a lot longer than what YouTube would like you to do if you're going to get monetized and turn your channel into something, because you might see maybe 1 video a month or every couple of months from her, just because of how much effort and energy that she puts into it. But she has all these skills to where she can go out and market herself on the digital economy. So we're setting her up with a Fiverr profile so that she can do thumbnails at like, $10 to $25 a piece. We're setting it up to where, she can do some of the stuff that she already has the talent for because she has the education in it to be able to turn it into a way for her to be able to monetize her skills. Because here, look at the real situation. Living in the cities is not a good idea, so you've got to live rural. So you either move to a new place and you get a new job and you have to get a whole new network, and how long does it take to build that network? Or you take what it is that you have and you build yourself a digital footprint and a digital reputation, so that wherever you go, you've always got work, so you don't have to go out there and recreate that network. Because she had a network where she was, now she's here, she's got to start a whole new network to be able to get the type of work that she's used to doing, that's outside of the digital realm. And this is the realities of the situation and the benefits of being in the digital economy. There's a lot of different things you can do, especially if you have certified or marketable skills. And even if you're something like, hey, I'm a plumber or I'm a handyman, well, you could create not only your own website, but your own Google My Business, and just go out there and do side jobs. And so wherever you move, that Google My Business profile moves with you. So when people in that local area are looking for, let's say, a handyman, or looking for a plumber, well, your profile now pops up in that local area because now you've gone through and changed the address and everything. So now it shows up in that local area. So now you've already got the reputation. You don't have to rebuild that reputation, and people will be calling you hand over fist the same way they were when you left, because you have that reputation. Okay, it may take a little bit longer, but you still have that reputation to go along with you that people can see, because people are going online to be able to do business, to find their cleaners, to find their this, to find their that. And there are apps and there are platforms that will connect you with these people so that you can get the best deal, the best quote, and the best service possible. That's what Thumbtack is. That's what Home Advisor is. That's what Angie's List is.
Chris wants a link to my channel, if that's okay for him to post.
I don't care. Put it in there. But, you know, she's very talented. But the thing is now, if we decide, you know what, we want to move further east, or we want to move further west, we can do it without her having to set up a whole new network. And as we move around, now she gets to keep her income stream and her revenue stream without having to worry about reestablishing a new network, because that's stressful. You get used to and comfortable being able to just have as much work as you want, and then you got to start over from scratch. It's very hard. It takes a toll on you because you got used to a certain comfort level, and now it's not there.
Excuse me.
Hey man, 42 years old, worked on my life manual labor in South Carolina. And most I ever made was $14 an hour as a welder fabricator. Chris, I am a year older than you, and next month I'll be 44. Farm girl's a couple years older than me. You know, the most I've ever made was, I think, $50 an hour owning my own business. You know, but the thing is I had to work hard. I had to build my reputation. I understood that I had to build a digital footprint, and because I built that digital footprint, when I relocated from Oregon to Texas, I didn't have much of a hiccup at all. I mean, it was right back on top, right where I started, because I had the digital reputation to pull along with me, because that's where people, that's where people find you. That's if they're going to do business with you, people are looking online. They're Googling things. 14, come north, bud. You'll get 30s. Hold on. You know what? Here's the thing. I know I was as a cleaner. I charged $25 an hour, and I would pay somebody $15 an hour to come along with me. So I was making $10 to $20 an hour. Okay. Okay. Looks like come back on. Are you catching me?
Not yet, so I might need to restart.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Sorry, I had to move around. Sam, knock it off. All right. So, a fan friend who left Connecticut here has several trailers across the South. He worked for United Illuminating, an electrical company. He and his wife only. She worked there too. The retirement money, they're okay. Well, that's good. Down south, as it goes further than up here. I need a nap from breakfast. It's gonna be a hot day. Hey, you know what? We'll trade you. I'd like a warm day. I'm tired of like 30 degrees. I'm tired of the teens too.
I know.
And we've gotten down into single digits a couple times. I know for some of you, you're like, you know, weenie, but no. I'm used to Central Florida this time of year, or the deep South. Like, and see, this time last year, we were in Alabama, Mississippi, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, I think. Yeah, we were all over the deep South until I think May, and then we just hopped a bus and went to Cincinnati. $35 degrees. I don't know. What is that, like 85? Don't come to the South unless you're working on the oil field. Well, there's other things to do in the South. My problem is, the reason why I struggle with my businesses is because 25% of all businesses in the state of Texas are owned by undocumented immigrants. Okay? And that 25% of businesses saturates three primary industries. House cleaning, janitorial, and house cleaning, janitorial, construction, and landscaping. Okay, when they can hire somebody that jumps across the border for $7 an hour, but then they come to me, an American business, they want 10 to 15 bucks an hour. But they go work for them for $7 an hour under the table, and it's all undocumented. How do you compete with that and get a way get anything competitive? Because my biggest client, I had to do him for $15 a man hour. And then you got people coming in saying, "Oh, I want 12. Oh, I want 15. Oh, now I want 20." And I couldn't even get more than $15 a man hour. And you got people demanding $20 an hour to push a broom. You know, that's really the yeah. Samantha, knock it off. Stop. Lay down.
I'm getting demanding.
So, also legal requires extra costs, OSHA fees, plus 401k contributions, etc. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Most people, the propaganda out there is that you're, if you get back more than you put in, then you're, then it's a redistribution of the wealth. But that's not true, because you pay 60% of your taxes. Your employer pays the other 40% of your taxes, plus unemployment insurance and OSHA insurance, and whatever other benefits he's required by law to have just to be able to hire you. So all in all, he's paying you 12, but it actually costs him $15 an hour to hire you. So when you get back that 60%, you're also getting back, and you get back a little bit more. You're just getting a chunk of that 40%. You're not getting back more than you put in. Just the employer is required to put in 40% of your taxes. Whereas when you're self-employed, you have to pay 100% of your taxes. So when you're paying 12 and a half, 13, or even 15%, your employer is paying the other, rest to get up to the full 25% that you would pay if you were self-employed. I made 15 as a 2-year apprentice. Now starting is 20 to 25. I started at 825 in 2003. I remember my first job, my first W-2 job. I was making $5.15 an hour in 1997. Yeah, in 1997, I was making $5.15 an hour.
When was that?
97, 98. But my dad, he retired down at Fort Hood. So Texas kept the federal minimum wage, which was $5.15, even though it was like $7.10 an hour up in Oregon. Yeah, and it was like $8 or $9 in California. But yeah, in most of the southern states, they just, whatever the federal minimum wage was, that was what minimum wage was. A lot of the southern states didn't put. That's why the cost of living was so much cheaper. But now that they've kind of evened the wages out across the board, because of all these national companies, now instead of being able to be in an area, even though you're making $5.15 an hour, you're paying $150 a month. Or you're paying $450 a month in rent for a 4-bedroom house on like 2 acres, So, and the lower the wages they give you, the lower the overall cost of living is. Not because you're making less money, but because with the wages being so low, they have a ceiling of where they can go. So therefore, it's going to make everything cheaper and your dollar stretch more versus inflating it by giving you higher wages. Lower wages actually give you a better cost of living. I know it sounds backwards, but that's just been my experience in all my travels, because I've been all over the United States. If the minimum wage is high, cost of living is high. Oh, we got Invisible Man here. Hey, what's up, buddy? Um, Australia has compulsory employer 401k contributions. Yeah, they're kind of doing that here in the States too. Extra off the top of your wage, self-employed to charge that and make it happen themselves. Now they don't do that part in the in the here in the States, not yet. So, okay. So I watch a guy here on YouTube, Rebel Capitalist. I think I've seen him. Months back, the guy said, as well as comments, good luck getting a handyman for $60 an hour or less to do work. Um, Good ones increase their cost. Um, well, you know what though? There's other ways. I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the if they see you coming and they know that that either you've got money or that you are going to be a pain, they're going to charge you that. But I don't know. You want work, and it's better to have $30 than it is to have $60, especially if you're not getting a lot of work.
Depends on materials though too.
Well, no, that's just for if that includes materials, $60 an hour, okay. But usually that's just a labor cost. Plus you have to pay for materials and your transportation from the house to Home Depot and back. You get to charge 50 cents a mile and add that to the overall bill as well. So therefore, the customer pays for the whole thing. They're paying you for your labor. They're paying you to go get they're paying you to go get the stuff and come back for it. Okay, and so usually all that's separate. Because that's how because I actually had contractors that told me, like, because I'm like, they're like, hey, I need you to go get this and this and this, and I'm like, I don't I mean, okay, I can go do it. And he's like, okay, I know you're new, so here, let me tell you how you do this. So you bill me for the time to go get it, and you gotta also, for the materials, and then come back, and then, whatever time it takes you to get it done, and then that's how you get paid. And so, I mean, I had contractors teach me how to do that. That's why I do it that way. So charging $60 an hour, that just sounds a little crazy. Um, I started my house cleaning business here in Australia. Before COVID, yeah, I was overwhelmed with work. Yeah, um, yeah, there's plenty of work if once you're in the community. I completely forgot about when I worked at a firearms manufacturer. Okay. Okay. Hey, what's up, DFH? Nice to see you. My trade of electrical keeps cutting everyone's throat. Everyone's willing to do less than previous guy till no profit is made. Oh, you got to work for a homeowner. No, here's the thing. I didn't know what to charge. I didn't realize that Mary Maids was charging like $60 an hour. So you'd have four people come in for 1 hour. They'd charge you $240. Each one of them would get a quarter of the house, and that would be their responsibility. And an hour to clean a quarter of a house apart. I mean, it takes an hour and a half just to do a proper cleaning of a kitchen. Okay, especially if you're coming in there to do a seasonal cleaning. So it's going to take at least an hour and a half because you got to move things. You got to get the tile. You got to get all this other stuff. And then there's other companies that will give you a base rate of like, it's $85 for us to show up. It's $2.50 per sink. It's 50 cents per this. It's $3 per that. It's this. It's that. It's the other. But the thing is, what allowed me to compete, people don't care about your price. One of the best compliments and best reviews I got was I did an estate cleaning. So the guy's mother passed away, had a house. We had to separate the junk from the stuff that they were keeping, had to bring in a dumpster, stuff like that. It cost them, it cost me $2,000 in resources, materials, labor, all that stuff. and I think I charged them $3,500 for it. So I made a $1,500 profit off of it. And one of the things that he said in the review is like, you know what, they were a little expensive, but they were definitely worth it, because not only that, I had connections, so I was able to bring in a carpet shampooer, add that to my price. I was able to do certain things for my employees to kind of give them incentives to do a good job and to get done quicker, which means more money in my pocket, and they got a pizza party or something. Okay, so it's you can complain about price, but that's because you're focused on price and not quality. When I would go into a house, and this is when you're talking to a person over the phone. So somebody calls up and says, "Hey, I'm looking to do a house cleaning, da da da. How many bedrooms? How many baths? What type of cleaning is this? A seasonal cleaning, a deep cleaning? Are you moving in, moving out? What's going on?" And so they tell you, and then you start building value by saying, "Okay, so this is kind of how the process works. This is what it's generally going to cost, because I've done enough of these. I know kind of the ballpark is going to be, if it's a 3-bedroom, it's going to be between 180 and 240, depending upon how long it takes us to do it. And what we do is we walk through. I'm going to see dirt from your eyes. You get to do a final inspection. If there's anything that needs to be fixed, we'll do it for you. It doesn't cost extra. Once we're done, we stop billing, and if there's anything we need to fix, and so therefore, they'll pay $35 an hour, $25 an hour, $50 an hour, because you built value. You gave them control over the situation. And then to make sure that they have their satisfaction guarantee, you're giving them the ability to walk through and have you fix anything. And usually, you might have 1 or 2 things that you would fix, and so on and so forth. Because the thing is, if you did your walkthrough properly, you already knew what they were looking for, what was important to them. So you focus on that more than you focus on the other things, because that was what they were telling you was important to them. And so it's not really about the price that you charge. It's about the quality of service that you provide and the confidence you have in the service. Because I walked away from a lot of quite a few customers where what would end up happening is I'd have this lady follow me around, and every time I would clean something, she would mess it up, and then she would start getting mad at me, telling me how I was a bad cleaner, and I called her out on it, and she started getting upset. I said, "Okay, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay a dime. We're done. You go find yourself another cleaner." I wasn't desperate for the money. I wasn't desperate for the business. And so I was able to walk away because I understood the quality of service that I was offering and the value that I was bringing to the table. And if they weren't going to meet me on that level, then I didn't do business with them. And they would let me know real quick whether or not I want to do business with them just by the interactions. If you learn how to read body language and just have some emotional intelligence, you can kind of figure your way around in these houses. So it's not necessarily what you charge. It's what guarantees do you give them that they're going to be happy with the service by the time they're done. People will pay whatever you ask as long as they know they're going to get it done right the first time. And if it's not done right, that you will guarantee that you'll come out and fix it at no additional charge. So it's your incentive to never have to come back, and they get the peace of mind knowing that, well, you know what, if I screw up, I screw up. And sometimes when I would do it when they weren't there, and I had to just come in, I would say, you have 24 hours after I leave that property to make any requests that I come back, fix things, touch it up. Otherwise, you completely lose out. Call me 2 days, 3 days later, I'm not going to take care of you. And some people tried to play that game with me, and I'd be like, no, this is what I told you. I told you up front. You build the value, you have confidence, and you hold your ground. You set expectations, and you'll get any amount of money that you want. Okay, so don't think it's all about price. If you think it's about price, then that's all it's going to be about, and you're never going to offer anything quality. You're never going to set yourself apart from your competition, because that was what made me go from being just making 30,000, 40,000 a year to making about $120,000 a year. Okay, so that is the difference maker in all of that. And it wasn't really about the price. Now, when you're in the commercial sector, it's all about price, because they want quality, and they know kind of like their little sweet spot, and so they'll work with it. But you have a lot of companies, if they want quality, they understand it's going to cost, and they're grin and bear it, but they're going to find the most budget friendly guy there. So you might want to undercut the next guy by $1 or $2, but not by much. Okay, when you're dealing in the commercial realm. But when you're dealing in the residential realm, people want quality of service before they want anything else. Okay, guys, so my battery's at like 20%. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, found this valuable. If you want to leave something down in my tip jar, Farm Girl's been posting some of the links to my website, my PayPal, and my Cash App. If you guys want to, if you guys find value in this and you want to leave a tip, or either that or do a super chat or super thanks. Those are always much appreciated. For those of you that are my regulars that keep showing up, thank you. I'm so glad you guys are here. I will see you guys Monday. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a change that's going to be happening. So I was trying to use the live streams as a way to be able to take place in my long form. It works, but in a different way than I was expecting. So yeah, we're going to still keep doing what we were doing. Like I'll just do it Monday through Friday. It'll be, like what I've been doing, where I talk about topics and we get into it, because that's going to turn into a long form video. But I'm also going to be releasing more long form videos throughout the week to kind of take care of that part of the algorithm. Okay, so you guys should be seeing a lot more long form videos coming from this channel over the next few weeks, outside of just the live streams. But we're still going to keep doing them. I'm still going to keep following the same format. I just letting you guys know that there's going to be some videos that are going to be popping up as well. So stay frosty, everybody. I will see you guys Monday evening, same bat time, same bat channel.